Hey everybody, I'm Robert Tomlinson, the commissioner of the USA eBaseball Power League, welcoming you to the Week 6 Roundtable for the USA eBaseball Power League. We are officially just about halfway through the regular season. Just 4 more weeks of the regular season left, folks. This is gonna get interesting right down the stretch. I am joined once again by our panel, our esteemed panel of Compass, John's Copyright, Slimefall, and YG. How's it going? How's it going, guys?
We're doing good. Doing good.
I guess we're doing good.
It's okay, man. It's okay, YG. It's all right, man.
For context,
Okay. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, for context, we are recording this at 11:09 p.m. on June 22nd, just minutes after the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA Finals, and YG is an old Seattle Supersonics fan.
I'm in pain.
My apologies to YG on everything on that. But
Sure that way.
But the good news is we're here to talk about some EPL matches, and boy howdy, we had quite a lot of them this past week. Let's go ahead and talk about them, but first, what were your guys' main takeaways from the week that was in the EPL?
We got his first dub.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. We'll talk about that series. Main takeaway. There's some scary people. I mean, John's series, he proved that he was scary. Greg's series proved that he was scary. Sorry about that, Slime.
Oh no, we've got a lot of people crying this time. Oh no.
Yeah.
This is a sad episode, man.
Yeah, it's very sad episode.
Yeah, the terrible timing on this episode. I guess the panel is not in a good mood. And I mean, YG bounced back in this week and showed that he's very scary. So that's my main takeaways.
That's good. That's a good takeaway.
I did take a look at the standings and the scoring, and John is 30 points ahead of everyone else in offense. So,
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is nuts. Dude, this is nuts, man. It's a fun season for me at least. I guess I'm taking it out from last year of not making the playoffs, being 9-18. So
Yeah, I mean, big turnaround for John. We'll talk about that series here. Actually, we're going to talk about it right about now. We're going to start with the Bay Area Rockets taking on the North Shore Honu. This was a huge matchup on paper between two players in the top 4 of the standings coming in to week number 5. But it was the Rockets with a big sweep, 8-0 in 8 innings in game 1, 5-3 in game 2, and a little bit of a close one there in game 3, despite the final score. 9-5 is the final in game number 3. A big sweep for the Rockets to keep their place atop the standings for right now.
Wait, when did this happen?
This happened last night. Yeah, I think you were
I was
sleeping, man.
asleep.
Nah.
No way, you missed it.
Yeah, man, dude, that's alright, man.
It was like 11 something. My family's usually knocked out at that time. I was probably comfy right now.
That was like a midnight game.
It was.
It did start late too, but my thoughts on the series. John looked extremely scary, as I said at the beginning of the episode. He was hitting bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. I could continue, but John could probably tell you how many bombs he had that series. But I know he hit multiple back-to-backs. I know he hit a back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah.
He was smacking everything out. and that's going up against the North Shore Honu, who made EPL Summit Series last time, were one game out of winning the regular season championship. One of the best pitchers and hitters that we have in our league. So to get that huge sweep in and pretty dominating fashion in game 1 and look very, very good hitting. I mean, game 3 was a lot closer than the score would show. I mean, John had a killer run there at the end to really put the score up, but yeah, I think this proves that John's extremely scary against even the top competition, and I'll have more to say about him once we talk about the standings.
And to my knowledge, I don't think anyone said like this in EPL.
No.
If you guys remember,
I mean, this is
if
unprecedented.
you guys remember, yeah, it's unprecedented. If you guys remember Bren,
oh yeah, Bren.
yeah, he was
back then.
absolute great hitter. But if I recall, he said he used to hit home runs by like choosing a particular spot to set in. John's just hitting like lock-on three, so
Now, for the record, we did check before the game. John was hitting on no lockout.
Whoa! I'm not out.
You
I'm
cheated.
not alleging anything.
No,
he cheated. But no. He's hitting like he's on lock-on 3, but really he's on no lock-on.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I'm just saying he's out of his mind right now.
Oh yeah, straight up.
So what you're saying is he's hitting so good that he's cheating. Got you.
No, man. No.
Whoa.
I gotta get a second camera on stream right now to show my controllers, just to make sure, too. I'm just proving you guys, man. Like, hey, like I'm actually doing this.
He's doing this.
Doing this the right way. We're not taking cream. We're not taking anything.
Got it. The league should put a watch on John. Just check that out.
Oh yeah, no.
He's not visiting Balco, okay?
Now,
No, we're trusting. We trust
No.
John. We trust John.
It is in the Bay Area too, so
But yeah, so
not
John.
looking good for me.
So John, what was working right for you in that series?
I think it's a lot of practice, when you go in the cages just a little bit before, I feel like once you get hot in the cages, even before then, you kind of save the rest for the game instead of kind of like, going a little bit, too hard onto the practice. So I did it for about a few minutes and I said, okay, this is good. I want to keep it for the game. And shoot, this is a crazy run right now. Like, I did not expect, to kind of hit this many home runs already. Nor to be one of the most dominant, people in the league too. It's a good run right now. Against some good competition too. I mean, this whole series against Zumi, I had to find ways to kind of steal hits away from him. Through pitching and, where exactly I locate the pitches, to kind of bring it to my fielders. So, yeah, it's a hell of a run right now. So I'm just happy I'm just doing well, the way I'm doing right now. And, hitting balls out of the park, too. This is sick.
Yeah, but we gotta give props to Zumi there for the Game 3 performance and Game 2 as well. I mean, he was battling in games 2 and 3, straight up.
Yeah, it was getting concerning, honestly, because I know that he was he's never out of the game, because we always see him have those big innings, with contact hits, and they pile on a lot, so it's good that I try to minimize, or try to get out of the jams when he had those hits rolling in. So man, I just gotta say, I was just too lucky, honestly, in these last 2 games right here.
Yeah, Slime, what were your thoughts on this series? Just from looking at the line scores here.
Yeah, but from the scores, because I was definitely there. Yep. I was in the VIP section. Yep. Definitely not knocked out to sleep. Rockets are scary. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Rockets are scary.
Finally living up to the name too, because last year was getting mostly bloops.
Yeah. Last year, This year is more like a NASA flight for the Rockets, rather than the SpaceX they were last year.
Oh yeah, or like the bottle rockets. Oh man.
Yeah, you really have to bring that analogy up.
Oh man.
Either way, let's go ahead and move on to our next game. We had the Phantoms take 2 of 3 from the humongous Melonheads. 4-0 win in Game 1 for the Phantoms. 2-1 win in Game 2 for the Phantoms. And the Melonheads coming back with a 3-1 win in Game number 3. Pretty comfortable 2 out of 3 for the Phantoms, all things considered.
Yeah, man. So for finally finding his stride too, I saw some home runs here and there. He's using the power just a little bit. That's good to see.
Yeah, we did see a couple home runs there from the Phantoms.
Another power outlet.
Yes.
I think he hit a couple in Game 1. It was he has some pretty nice power hitters on his team. Once he starts getting to use them a little bit more, it's gonna be a little bit scary once more games start going like Game 1. I mean, he still had a good performance in Game 2, and Game 3 it was a little bit worse. He did have a better hitting performance than the Melonheads. He did have more hits, but just wasn't able to squeeze out those runs. If he's able to just start stringing together those power hits with some of those hitters that he has, it's gonna be pretty scary.
Yeah, I did say this, like, really just in crazy lineup. Just
yep,
I would
does
be
have a
really
crazy
afraid.
lineup.
Yeah, I'd be really afraid to face any of them. Like, this lineup is too good. Unless if you're just hitting decently with these guys, they're gonna produce. So
yeah, if we take a look at what Dat Shadow's team looks like real quick, I mean, you have Otani, you have Red, you have Raigo, Octavia, Ichijo. These are some big boppers here. Shimada's a good one here. Just some really good hitters. Plus Otani.
He has Kaminari, and he has
Kaminari.
3 contact hitters. He has 3 contact hitters in Mizudori, Shinonome Nomi. No, Shinonome Nomi. I think, does Mizudori have contact or clinical average?
I think it's just Mood Swinger and that's it.
Yeah, but Misadori still has C and D. It's still not bad. The only bad hitter he has in the lineup is Yabeta, and Yabeta's not completely horrible.
Yeah, it's 9 hitter. You get good hitters there, the luxury. So
yeah. So what do we make of the Phantoms and their performance now halfway through the year as a newcomer to the league? Obviously, you know, there's some expectations, but not a lot of expectations coming in when you're a new player into the Lock-On Zero environment. The Phantoms, they're in 7-8. They're in a decent spot for the postseason right now, despite the losing record.
Not bad.
I think
good
that's
right now, man.
Really good.
a pretty huge win as somebody who's coming in with only Lock-On 3 experience, and considering they didn't have too many expectations being there in the playoff hunt, especially if they could get themselves more secured in trying to get that 6th seed or something. It's going to be a really good season. I would take that as a dub, and they're going to be, of course, they're somebody you got to watch out for this season. Never can cross out Dat Shadow from your opponent's list, but next season he's going to be scary. He might take that jump.
Definitely. So Phantoms with 2 of 3 from the Melonheads, moving up to 7-8 on the year. Next up, Slime. I'm sorry, man, but we have to talk about it. The subarctic narwhals showed how absolutely scary they were. They shut out the Purple Hurricanes 3-0 in a row. 1-0 in a very close game 1. Then game 2 and game 3 just weren't really that close. 7 innings in game 3, 7-0, 5-0 in game 2. Just a dominating performance from the Narwhals in just every facet of the game against a player that is at near the top of the standings.
My goodness.
Yeah, Greg.
Tough one.
Greg showed how great he is at pitching without two-tap. Slime showed the pitching chart of Greg trying to study him at one point, and he was just dotting up those corners every single time.
Greg is the only person to beat John and Slime so far in the series.
Oh man,
Yeah.
my only 2 losses right now, man. Yeah.
Yeah. His pitching is like legit crazy.
Yeah.
It really
It's alright,
is.
Slime. Dang, man. You got
It's-
to, man.
The bats weren't batting.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked like
Pitching
you're
wasn't pitching.
Yeah, it looked like you're just missing the bat with the power swings there.
Yeah. My players weren't happy.
They're on strike.
Literally inside in the game too, bro. Oh my god. Dude. Jeez.
It was
Yeah,
not
but-
a good showing.
Greg, he showed out on the pitching side. I mean, shutting out Slime is no easy feat. He has some great pitchers that he could put out on the mound. Of course, Mileman pitched most of game 1. He had Kariba out there for game 2. And then One out there for game 3. He just has a killer rotation out there that can stop these power hitters. I mean, Kariba and One both have really, really nice moving pitches, moving curveballs, and we all know who Mileman is. You don't have to say much about Mileman. The fact that he was able to get that mercy rule against Slime in game 3, that was extremely impressive, especially on the offensive side of the ball. He was able to string together 16 hits that game.
Man.
And he was killing it. He was crushing it against Slime Suzakaze, which,
That's tough to
I
do.
mean, yeah, that's tough to do. He was getting hits against Suzakaze, and then Hamasaki came in, and that was rough. Sorry, Slime, but that was rough. Hamasaki did not do good.
No, he didn't. Very, very unfortunate that he did that. My bullpen is now dead.
Not great. Not great, but there's a chance to turn it around. There is a chance for the Hurricanes to turn around. They're still pretty good. They're gonna be facing off against the Smooth Jazz next week. We'll talk about that matchup later, but with the sweep, the Narwhals, they're in a really good spot to challenge for the top of the league here.
Yeah, they are. They're getting up there. With that sweep, they climb up to number 3rd. It's gonna be really interesting to see how it all stacks out.
We had 10 hits all series.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, like 35.
Yeah, just
The bats will come back. They'll come back eventually. This might be like a bit of a slump right here. You find out Greg's, how he pitches and all that, coming in. Maybe you guys see each other in the playoffs, and we'll see how that goes too.
This happened last season.
Nah.
The slump hit me in week 5. It did it last time.
The slump. You'll get out of it though. It takes time.
It was out of it during the scrims that we played. It's just Greg is so good at pitching, and he's great at stopping them power hitters. As soon as he played a scrim against me, he was smacking bombs like it was nothing.
Yep, he's eating up.
He really is heating up, and the Narwhals, they're going to have a matchup next week against the North Shore Honu. So that's going to be a marquee matchup coming up next week.
Contact and pitching. My goodness.
That'll be an interesting one. That'll be an interesting one.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Brequa Islanders, Space City Comets. We are still awaiting that matchup. That'll hopefully happen very soon, as we had some scheduling conflicts with the Compass Holkavy matchup earlier in the week, which we figured out later on in the week. Comets taking 2 of 3 from the Delegates as well. So that brings the Comets up to 10-2 moving into week 5 matchups. But our next full series that we will be able to talk about here is the Kang Kings taking on the Rattlers, and MC Scales taking 2 of 3.
We have an upside.
Taking 2 of 3 from Kang Gang. This is a huge confidence booster, I believe, for MC Scales.
Yeah, especially like when you're not too far out from a playoff spot, and I remember seeing him in the chat. He was so determined after. He's like, "Mark my words, I'm gonna make playoffs." He's on a hunt right now to go get that final spot. Maybe you're in the 7th spot too. So, I think this is time he's starting to wake up just a little bit. Getting all these contact hits. First game wasn't up to plan and everything. Kane got a lot of good contact hits on him. Just the offense was rolling, but dang, Rattlers came back. They came up back with a statement too. Some home runs here too. Hey,
yeah,
look, game 3, look, 2 home runs.
MC Scales is usually a contact hitter, but in game 3 he was smacking some bombs. I mean,
more power accurates. Come on.
Hey,
you're joining us.
Yeah, who got the home runs? Who got the home runs?
Gundo.
We got Gundo and Udo.
Yep.
Gundo, Udo.
Yep, Gundo and Udo. Udo going yard. Dang. Good for him.
What's his contact? It's like F contact, right?
Yeah, he has F contact, like 30. So 20, 30, I think.
Interesting. That's crazy though. That's good though.
Yeah, but MC Scales, of course, he got off to a little bit of a rough start at the beginning of the season, but him taking this series, it's not a complete total surprise, because MC Scales, of course, he's proven he's been in EPL for multiple seasons, and he made the playoffs last season and put up a pretty good fight against, who was his matchup? I think his matchup was Zumi in the first round, where he took him to 3 games. So MC Scales is a very scary opponent, and I expected him to make that jump up to the playoffs, and this series, it puts him on the trajectory for that.
Definitely, yep. Now, if you're the Kang Kings here in this situation, you'll go 1-2 against the Rattlers, and then next week you got the Space City Comets and Compass. So how do you kind of compartmentalize that 1 of 3 and try to, bounce back from that against a really tough opponent in Compass?
He's got to grind.
Yeah, man. You gotta gear up. You gotta gear up for this whole series, because it's gonna be a big challenge. Compass, really good pitcher, known contact hitter, starting to hit for power now too. So King has to. Yeah, King's got to study. Also, he's been working in the cages too. I see before the streams too, getting a lot of runs, in practice. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I feel like he's on the right path. I feel like, you put this week behind you, and then, just go all in for this series. It's going to be a nice one too. We'll talk more about that. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Next up, YG getting the sweep of Brando Scotty against the Sassy Squatches here. 1-0 in game 1, 3-0 in game 2, and an absolutely bonkers game 3. 9-8 in 10 innings.
My goodness.
Where it was just back and forth the entire time. What in the world?
If there's one thing about YG, if he wins that game on a walk-off, if something crazy happens, he's going to have a reaction. He's going to have a great reaction. He had a great reaction to walking off in extras in this game. This game, it really showed how great YG still is. Of course, he got out to a rough start to his standards. I would assume that he would agree. But he shut down Brando Scotty, who was at the same record as him for the first 2 games, and that third game was very close. Brando Scotty almost pulled it out.
Yeah, he got 3 in the 10th, I think.
We gotta give him, we gotta give him props. They went into extras and he got runs, but YG, I mean, he should be thanking me for Nanai because that really came in clutch for him, and
my goodness,
that was a great
game.
I remember seeing it on stream.
All-time EPL game.
I really want to talk about Game 3 because I barely remember any of Game 1 and Game 2. Because I felt like I was still kind of struggling Game 1 and Game 2 and hitting. And in Game 3, I just like, okay, screw this stuff. I'm just going to hit like I usually do, but with what I learned. And then like, I didn't feel nervous at all. Honestly, I've seen too much of this stuff, man. Like even when I was down 8-5, my entire mental process was like, oh, I got 2 runners ahead. I'll tie it with a home run.
There we go.
And then you go and win it with a home run.
Yeah.
But you know, this I mean, given it was a good win for YG, this was also a very tough loss for the Sassy Squatches here. I mean, they had an excellent game. It's just, once again, the pitching just kind of failed him once again in Game 3, which is just very unfortunate. He has some good pitchers. It's just, you know, I don't know whether it's process with the pitching, whether he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his pitching or anything like that, but it's...
I guess he was challenging me a lot with those high effort fastballs, and I was taking advantage of it. Like that's two of my home runs. That Hideo home run like really kind of like brought everything up, and after that it was just good quality hitting. And I have to give props to him. I have to give props to him because he was really he was actually frustrating me by hitting those doughy outside pitches. And then he was also baffling me because like I noticed that he wasn't catching up to those doughy inside pitches at all, but he was still hitting those outside pitches like his life depended on it. So
I mean, in a roundabout sort of way, it did.
Yeah, it was really. Sometimes, like I have to give credit because it really baffles me sometimes. Like it goes against every sort of like pitching logic in my head.
Yeah, but the Squatches, you know, the pitching and extra innings have kind of been the bugaboo for the Squatches this year, and it's something that just hasn't been able to figure out how to keep a lead in extra innings yet.
It's tough. I've always seen him like in these games, always so close. There's so many games that could have gone either way, and had he pulled out some of those games too, you know, if you take a few of them, you know, he's in a good position, you know, in the middle of the standings. But that's just how it is sometimes, you know. Just gotta put them away. It's hard in extra innings because you already start with 2 runners on base, and
it's stressful.
It is stressful. It definitely is. You want to get out of the inning, but you sometimes, you know, the tying run just comes up straight to the plate, you know, and anything can happen like right after that. But yeah, it's tough. He had a great hitting game too, Game 3. A little bit silent, you know, Game 1 and Game 2, but kept it close, you know, with only giving up 1 run and 3 runs in Game 2 to YG. So yeah, it just, you know, it's overall tough, man. You gave a good battle. This doesn't go out on your way.
Definitely. All right, next up we had X-Long X taking on the Smooth Jazz, and X-Long, in kind of a battle of a couple of players that are kind of in the bottom half of the standings here. Xlong X taking 2 of 3, but the Jazz, their lone win coming in a very wild 14-inning game in game number 2.
Dude, yes. What's up with you guys? What's up with like us playing these long games, man? We had like a bunch of like 14 innings, the ties. Oh my goodness.
Giving up, man. That's it.
Nobody gives up, and that's good. It's good to see a lot of fight. I mean, that game itself, game 2, my goodness. When you think, you know, you have it on lock, you know, for when you have a lead, you know, like it's tough to get, you know, those runners out, you know, from when you have a runner in scoring position on second. So, you know, you're not out of the woods, and like Jeff came back so many times, and he pulled through with it. There's a props to him too. Xlong, you know, it's just unfortunate in those situations, you know. Yeah, just a good series too. Oh, also, the third game we saw a bomb from Mine.
Yeah,
Mine hit a home run. And that was like a jump scare. I was like, oh my goodness, contact hitter took it out.
I will say that I've been doing little solid exercise tier list. I think Mine is like extremely underrated by our standards.
Finally!
Yes, Mine is awesome.
He's
awesome,
like
bro.
He's Victor Kohlberg if he played second base and we better off.
Yes, that's a great comp. That's a great comp.
Yeah, but just better defense. Yeah, his position.
Yeah. And like
that's why I was so excited to take him in the first place. Why I took him over some other players that I could have used at center field, which was a needed position for me in the draft. I mean, the only reason he ain't on my team is because I was able to flip him for a really good pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, he's good bat and everything too.
Yeah.
The whole lineup, coming alive right there. The offense for Xlong coming alive. 10 hits too. Good showing. And Jeff always contact hitting too. I'm looking at these stats. They're still great, you know, not too far away from Xlong in these matches. Just like either like one hit away or, you know, matching him. So Jeff the Boss hitting pretty well. You know, he's just unlucky because I've seen him, you know, he performed well in select games. But, you know, it's unfortunate. He has this streak right now where he wins one game and then loses the other 2. So, yeah, it's tough for him right now. But let's see, you know, these next couple of weeks, you know, things could change. Might see him in the middle of the standing, so we'll see. Xlong, you know, making his way up there too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Slime, how big was taking 2 of 3 from Smooth Jazz for Xlong here?
Very good. Very good. I'm a man of few words.
Fair enough. Hey, you know what? Sometimes all you need is a few words to get a point across. That's true. That's true.
Very good.
yeah,
All right.
And, sorry, final word. I think I'm also honestly kind of really proud of Xlong for sticking to this much, because like I know he's on the older side. He's in his 40s if I recall.
Yep, oldest player in the league.
He struggles to hit. He admits that he struggles to hit a lot. So, seeing him like finally starting to get some hits in, it's really good. Really great to see, and hopefully the video I sent in the chat will help him further. So,
Yeah,
it seems that handheld is really working out well for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that video, hopefully it helps him a lot. I mean, I watched that video. It will hopefully help me a lot.
it helped me a lot. So,
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I might need to watch it.
I'm
I think
looking
we
for
all need to
anything
watch
to
it.
help me.
Yeah. A link down in the description, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, Compass.
In the comments.
Yeah, I'll
Good.
throw it in
Or
the comments.
IG or something like that.
yeah.
Somebody.
All right, so Xlong, big 2 out of 3 for him, moves him up to, I believe, 6-8-1 on the season so far.
Not bad.
Getting near 500. Getting back near 500. All right, and the final series that we want to talk about this week, obviously DC Delegates, Chicago Curve. We haven't had that series yet. That'll be happening on Thursday this coming week as kind of a makeup, and then hopefully we'll get the Delegates series against the Islanders situated for the end of the week there. But we have the Philadelphia Bandits and the Wolverines. This is a weird series, a lot of disconnects occurring, but in the end, let's give our first props to Shelly and the Wolverines, who have been just struggling all year. They finally get their first win of the season.
Yeah. Let's go! Let's go!
He was getting some runs in that he was desperately looking for. I mean, he was struggling to get runs in, and he scored a couple here in this series. I'm not one to lie, Dish. This was an incredibly tough series to watch with all the disconnects. But
yeah.
It was a very unfortunate situation, but he was hitting pretty well. Game one, the Bandits, they showed off why they're still shaking off some rust, but they were showing that they could still hit pretty good against a pretty good pitcher. I think that was the Dark Hoshi game. But then after that, it kind of started. I don't really have too much opinions because I can't lie. I started tuning out. It was getting hard there.
Yeah, but yeah, DC's. Yeah, I definitely want to revisit disconnects after the season more than likely, because I feel like there has to be a way to kind of streamline them a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a really rough situation, especially when Shelly had a reliever in, and of course if you start a reliever, their abilities they go down. So that was a rough situation, trying to get the reliever back in, trying to get everything situated back again. It was overall, it was kind of rough. It's one thing when it happens once. When it happens twice, it becomes difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but I think in the end, I think it ended up okay for everyone involved. Obviously, it was a frustrating situation, and I know I had my moments with not being around and all that due to other obligations. But I hope it turned out okay for everyone involved. If not, I apologize and will figure out a way to, make things a little bit easier with disconnects in the future.
But yeah, I mean, Shelly, even through everything, he was stringing together hits pretty well. Got a couple runs, got his first dub, which is very nice. Hopefully he could string together this momentum and keep it rolling.
Yep.
There was one particular comment that I found kind of glowing from Shelly, and he said that he usually, in no lock on, he usually just flicks the icon to the ball cursor, to the ball icon, which I kind of sympathize, because that really just shows me he still has that lock on 3 experience going on. And I think maybe how can you say this, like,
if he breaks that habit, he'll be a monster.
If he breaks that habit, yeah,
exactly.
he'll be a monster. But I think he's still on Joy-Con like John was, and yeah,
yeah.
I hope he keeps working on it.
I bet. Yeah, for the offense and everything too, because again, I was a lock-on 3 player. I was on Joy-Cons too. I think Shelly might be switching, from a different controller. So, but even then, when you go from lock-on 3, have a lot of success on there, you're gonna keep, hitting the way you do, but it just doesn't translate to no lock-on. So the thing is that you have to be very smooth with your stick. and be very precise with the stick too. You got to be very easy with it. With lock on 3, you can have those times where you can just flick your stick and just go in the area where the pitch is going to be. But that's the difficulty with no lock on. How smooth are you to get to the ball? Some things like even like pitching without like a pitch cursor just to see how the zone is for your stick can help out. Even doing batting practice and you gotta follow through those pitches, or just even trying to catch the ball in general. Eventually it'll become second nature. I hope to see that sooner or later. Also for the series and the Bandits too. Love to see the home runs, man. Love to see the home runs. Sendo with the 2-run home run was big in that last inning, or in the 8th inning, I should say. Power.
Yeah, couple of big wins for the Bandits there to kind of get them up to 6 wins on the year as well.
Oh yeah, that's standings in the middle, looking tighter right now.
Yeah.
So goodness.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings before we go to our Week 6 discussion, shall we? So let's take a look. Here we got the Bay Area Rockets. That's John's copyright right at the top of the standings, 13-2. 86 runs scored.
Oh my god.
To 32 runs against. That is a plus 54 run differential. Now, if I calculate this out a little bit, John is averaging 5.7 runs per game, which is just far and away the best mark I think we have seen in a long, long time in EPL play.
Ever.
Wow.
I don't, with all due respect to Brent, I don't think he hit like this.
Dang, man.
And the next highest is Zumi and Slime at 55 and 54. And then Greg's not too far behind at 50. Oh my goodness, it's 33 more points than Zumi Kaku.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, John, you might need to slow down a minute.
I think if I slow down,
To be fair, never mind. Keep on the burner.
Hey.
And like the runs allowed isn't too bad either. 32. That's 18, 20. That's about fourth least allowed in the league, just behind me.
Wow.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about John, he's at the top right now, and I think that the regular season championship is his award to run away with. Just looking at his schedule, he's not really facing too many top contenders other than YG himself. That's the only matchup where he's facing a real top contender.
YG, you know what to do.
Yeah, that's gonna be over in Week 8.
Oh no, you guys don't know my kryptonite too. Big Sid has absolute ownage in me in our scrimmages. He has shut me down. He knows how to pitch to me, so I'm trying to see during the series if I can just steal some wins from him, because I feel like he has he reads me like a book every time we play.
Yeah, but just on paper, no pressure, but looking at the schedule that's left, I do think that this is John's award to lose. I mean, he's in the same situation that Zumi was last year. He got his big wins over most of his big opponents. Of course, he still has YG coming up. He still has people that he has to worry about, such as Big Sid coming up. But I mean, with this sweep of the North Shore Honu, it securely places him at first place, and it's going to be really tough for people to catch up with them at this point in the season, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, but if he does slip up a little bit, I think Compass and Greg are too far behind. So
yeah, they're not too far away. They are right there.
I haven't looked at Greg's schedule for coming up, but I'm having a really tough schedule coming up. So if it's anyone, I would expect it to be Greg, because I'm looking at some tough matchups going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's see. Greg takes on Zumi, And then he takes on Hokovi. Then he takes on Brando, and then
Oh, Space City Comments. Look at that.
then Compass in week 9 to end the season.
Oh no!
That could determine something.
Wait, should I throw my whole season so they can battle for the tough spot?
No. No.
That would be kind of cool to watch. Not gonna lie.
We need you to naturally screw up. That's what we need.
Naturally screw up.
Naturally screw up. Damn, are you gaslighting him?
Oh,
Yes.
Damn.
This may sound crazy. I think I can make it back. I think I can make it back there as long as you naturally screw up. I think I can have it.
Are you putting a curse on me right now?
I mean, the curse in itself is that I put that title on you as this is your award to lose. I mean, we saw what happened when Zumi got that award last year. It did not end up like that, so that's putting all
season's
the
ruined,
on your
guys.
back.
I'm gonna pack it up, guys.
You got to focus up through the rest of the season. Ain't letting off the pedal.
Well, right now we still have 4 other players that are in the top 5, all with double-digit wins. The Space City Comets at 10-2 through 12 games played. Obviously, they have not played their Week 5 matchup as of yet. You have the Subarctic Narwhals at 11-4. They are certainly in the hunt for that top spot, especially with the schedule they have the rest of the year and the momentum that they have as well. Then you got Kane Gang and the Purple Hurricanes at 10-5 each. They're firmly in a pretty good spot here. Then you got the North Shore Honu and the Ghost Town Revenants, Zumi and YG, at 9-6 in the standings. That's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top of that. Then you go down a couple of spots, the Phantoms and the Rattlers in 8th and 9th, respectively. And it's only by 1 run differential here. By 1 run here, that Shadow is in the final playoff spot right now if the season ended this week. Then we have the Chicago Curve. They are in 10th place right now at 5-6-1. X-Long X and the Sassy Squatches, both with 6-8-1 records, separated by only 1 run. Then you have the DC Delegates at 5-7 through 12 games played. Philadelphia Bandits at 6-9, a 400 win percentage for B Farrell right now. Still shaking off the rust a little bit there. Then you got the Smooth Jazz at 5-10. Humongous Melonheads at 4-10-1. Brequa Islanders 3-9 through 12 games played with a +4 run differential. Pitching just has not been up to par yet. Hopefully it'll turn around here in the next few weeks. And then Shelley and the Wolverines at 1-14 finally gained the goose egg out of the win column. So when you take a look at these standings right here, we're halfway through the season, pretty much. You got 4 weeks left, 12 more games. I know we talked a little bit about what could happen in the next few weeks, but who are the teams to watch out for that could make a run at the playoffs after what we've learned from week 5?
The Phantoms.
Phantoms for sure.
Rattlers,
heat up.
Phantoms and Rattlers, those two, I think they're going to battle up for this last playoff spot, definitely.
Oh, yeah. You got to run up the score, too, so you can make sure you get the spot over the other players, too. I didn't realize how that's very important to score as many runs as you can, because
you don't
your place can just be determined. Your place can be determined that way.
Yeah.
Yikes. So, just guys, run up the score, guys. Hit home runs. Hit home runs. Do as much as you can. Because you gotta get your wins. You gotta win big too.
Yep,
just to make sure that you are safe.
Yep, run differential. That is the first tiebreaker.
It is huge for this situation right here. If you're in the mid tier, of the standings, I think anything could happen still. Literally, I think people can have bad weeks, things can shift up, and then narrative changes. Yeah, just make your own destiny right here, guys. Bang.
Everyone is really still tight jam-packed. It really could be anybody that makes a run up into that 8th seed. Honestly, past that 8th seed, if you go 7th seed and up, I have a really difficult time believing that any of these players are gonna, drop out the playoffs. I think that all 7 of these competitors are just gonna be fighting it out for their seeds, but that 8th spot, it really can go to anybody at this point because they're all so tight jam-packed. I mean, Dat Shadow is right now at it with 7 wins. I mean, you go pretty far down, you still have players like B. Farrell with 6 wins. Jeff DeBoss is almost at the bottom, still with 5 wins. These players can still come back in and make a push for that last playoff spot. It's going to be really difficult.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be a good switch up. That's what I like about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Slime. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie. It's very scary how things are going with everybody in this league.
I mean, Slime, you're in the upper half. You're
but
well in the upper half.
Yeah, but I'm still scared, man. Like, it can happen.
Playoffs are already looking scary. Just looking at who's making it so far, if playoffs were to stop today, it would be extremely scary. Like, all of these players, I think everybody that's going to go into playoffs is going to be looked at as a contender, and anything can go down in any of these series. It's going to be a whole lot of fun once we get to that time, but we're still weeks out from that time. I think that we should let everybody fight out for their seed before we start talking too much about playoffs, but I will say this, and once we get there, I think that any seed could win. Just based on what I'm looking at right now in the seedings, any seed is going to be looking at winning.
Oh yeah, you have a good stretch. Dude, you can run away with it. Man.
Yep, definitely, yep.
I think as far as regular season chances, besides John and Compass, Greg, Kang, Slimefall, you all have great chances. If maybe if I or Zumi have like absolutely insane runs, maybe we could make a run for it. And everyone below that, just focus on the playoffs.
And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at some of these remaining schedules here. I mean, for Slimefall, you got the Smooth Jazz in week 6. You have the Sassy Squatches in week 7. Then you have the Philadelphia Bandits in week 8.
Power.
And then you end off the season against Hokovy and the DC Delegates.
That's honestly not a terrible schedule.
Now, we contrasted that a little bit earlier with Greg's schedule. Obviously, it's a pretty tough schedule for Greg the rest of the way as well. For Kang Gang here, let's take a look at his last 4 weeks here. All right? Kang Gang, he's going to be taking on... Where are they?
Comets.
Oh,
near the middle, a little bit to the right.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, so Space City Comets in week 6. Then the Chicago Curve in week 7. And then in week 8, they're going to be getting the Bariqua Islanders. And then in the final week of the season, they're facing off with the Philadelphia Bandits. That seems like a very, I wouldn't say an easy schedule, but an easier schedule.
Definitely after Compass. If he faces Compass, it's an easier schedule. Although B. Farrell, obviously, he's still a threat.
Man. Yeah.
It's tough.
I feel like anything can happen, though. You never know what can happen in any other day, man.
Yep.
You can have a bad series, and then boom,
those guys aren't
the wheels can fall off.
Yeah, they aren't like pushovers either. They're pretty good players.
Yeah, I mean everybody's a pretty good player.
Yeah,
they're the bullies on the playground.
Yeah, I mean
the bullies on the playground.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do want to point out Zumi Kaku's remaining schedule here. Got the North Shore Honu in week. You got the Subarctic Narwhals in week 6. All right, that's going to be
Bay Area series.
That's going to be a very, very fun matchup there. Then they got the Phantoms in week 7. And then they'll have the Wolverines in week 8 before ending off with YG in week 9 to end the season. That's an interesting schedule coming up for Zumi as well.
Interesting one, man.
Yeah, that's.
I actually haven't. Yeah, I haven't played him in like a year. It's gonna be interesting. Like, I don't think I've played him in scrims for a while. So, yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck,
Yeah.
man. You pitch out of his mind. He try to deceive you anytime he can. I remember in our series, dude, like he finds a way to find like just the pixel outside of the zone, other side of the strike zone to make you pop up. That's just how good he is. He just it's just right there in the perfect spots. So it's the pitching and the contact hitting that, he finds those wins.
Also, watch out. He switches the power every now and then. He tries pulling slimes now.
I've been trying to pull slimes. You're an inspiration.
Yeah, man. It's a movement.
Yeah, it's a movement.
I don't pull slimes. I just show everybody what I'm finna do. I'll never bow down to slime.
That's straight up.
I'll never bow down to slime. Just because slime does his slime, I'm showing everybody what I do.
He's doing this. He's saying this now, but he's gonna put it inside the postseason, man. If he makes it, you're gonna see it in the postseason, man.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! Whoa.
You're talking about pulling a reverse slime? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, that too. I love doing that.
I had to do that game 3 against Greg. It paid off until it didn't.
Oh man.
I only do slimes on mistake pitches. Only time.
You're good at that.
Slime.
Understand?
Yeah,
That's hard to do, man.
Alrighty, let's go
Hard
ahead
to
and
do.
we do
Pulling it
have
up right now.
a trade to talk about that did get processed.
We
earlier.
have 2 trades. I
Two
think
trades.
that we haven't.
Does this involve Compass?
Both of
Both
them?
involve
do.
yeah.
Oh my
Alright.
goodness, man.
Predator
I lost
Compass.
count. I was like 7.
One of them also involves another panel member.
Yeah,
Hey.
let's go ahead and talk about this. And this was between our first trade that we're going to talk about. Out of the 2 that were done, we
I can put out a
have.
cool video.
Yep, we have a trade between the Space City Comets and the Ghost Town Revenants. This is a big one right here. Space City Comets getting Kyushu, Okino, Matsuzaki, and Angel Amane for a left Nanai, Lifter Tsukami, Shinichiro Hibino, and Fumiko Hasiyaku. So let's talk about this trade a little bit.
We should get the unbiased opinions first. We should let John and Slime give their opinions before.
Yeah, John, what do you think of this trade? Sight unseen, probably sight seen, but what do you think of this trade for both players?
Just considering, just like, this is switching from power. This is, my goodness. Actually, I'm not too sure. Oh my goodness, because I feel like it's maybe a little bit in favor of YG right here. Honestly, because of the power that he gets from a left Nanai and then Lifter Tsukami too. For the pitcher and Hasiyaku, mostly gonna be, I feel like gonna be bench. And YG gave up Matsuzaki too, a pretty decent pitcher, only 2-pitch mix, but still pretty good, and with Iron Ball too. I mean, this strengthens up the lineups a lot more, for Compass and YG. I mean, YG went yard with Nanai to walk off, and that really helped out. I think this is It's a good trade. Good trade overall. I think even with Amane out there on the bench too, definitely help out with the pinch runner situation. Yeah, that's mostly what I got. Good trade.
So, since I don't have the brain of a trader, I'm just sitting back with a bucket of popcorn, just giving thumbs up to everybody.
Everybody wins.
I will say this. Oh, sorry.
I'll let you go first. You go ahead.
Okay. I will say that this is weird, strange coming from me, but Compass won in terms of pure value, but this is pretty even in terms of actually what we could use on each other's teams, like in terms of roles and stuff. Because Kyushu, really, really good hitter. He would still be on the team if I didn't draft Akahara, unfortunately. Okino, I think he's a little underrated. His right field defense, a little bit lacking in the range, but his arm's pretty good. Matsuzaki, he was a definitely workhorse, but he was also his defense is really bad, dude. It's horrible. And the one thing that I think he straight up just won was Amane over Hasayaku, but I didn't. It was a pretty good trade anyway. So
yeah, I also thought that we both got pretty equal value, pretty equal for what we wanted. I really wanted to kind of get more on the contact hitting side because I'm more of a contact hitter. Power hitting, I'm starting to do it a little bit more, but it's still not my thing. Kyushu has that clinical ability, even though I think that Nanai is a better DH, a better hitter because he has that slugger, that sprayer, that rally. I think that Kyushu just fits my style a little bit more. Lifter, he has that homer ability, he has that S power, he's a very good power hitter, but Okino is a little bit better at defense, especially in that corner outfield. I agree with YG. He's very underrated out there, especially with that laser ability and his strong arm. And first base was definitely a needed position for me after trading Hasayaku, because Hasayaku was my backup first base, and that's not somebody you particularly want as your backup first base. I was running a lot of people that were not particularly meant to play first base. Asa was playing a lot of first base for me. And then for giving up batters like Nanai and Lifter, who are really good, I really wanted some value back, which is where I got Matsuzaki, who's a really good pitcher, can't really relieve, but has that B heater, throws a really nice fastball, has that curveball. Hibino wasn't going to pitch for me, and it allowed for more trades to open up. And I think Amane is a lot better than Hasayaku just based on Hasayaku's running abilities, even though I traded away Amane pretty quickly. She's a pretty nice outfielder, has that builder ability, allowed me to get the other trade that I wanted. But Aleph Nanai, he showed his value last week against Brando Scotty with that rally ability, that walk-off. I wouldn't have done that with Nanai. I'm just saying that you could say that YG won the trade because of stuff like that, but YG would just use him better than me. I think that... I would... Go ahead.
And it's kind of strange because if I was to grade this from an outside perspective, I would actually say Compass won the trade because, like, Kyushu and Okino are just, I think, more well-rounded players. I just have no use for them in the team like this. So,
plus Okino's a switch hitter. He's a switch hitter.
I've got that
straight up.
Fair enough. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of how we both felt about our trades. We were giving up players that we felt had not really much of a role on our teams for players that much more fit our teams. So I think it's a win-win all around. I'm excited to use Kyushu and Okino. I haven't gotten to use them yet. I'm sure YG has loved Nanai so far.
Yep. He's gonna be my new leadoff hitter. So.
Yeah, that dude's crazy. Both him and Kyushu are crazy. That whole trade is crazy. Just in straight up value, going to both teams. Crazy trade.
Definitely, 100%. There was a second trade that was made that will be processed in time for week number 6. Once again involving Compass. This time it is the Smooth Jazz receiving Bashiki and Angel Amane, who is literally just traded over there. And then the Space City Comets getting
just got there.
Getting Atsumori and Todoroki, the announcer duo from 2022 PowerFest.
Wow. Awesome stuff right here, man. Good trade, I feel like, for Compass right here, because honestly, like, these are pretty good, like, late in the game bats, right, that you want. I feel like Todoroki, I mean, low contact, but when you come in for pinch, you know,
you got that pinch, that clutch, that rally, all activated. It all adds up.
It all adds up all together, and you know, you see why Todoroki was like the meta during even the lock-on 3 for a bit. You know, to have on as a pinch hitter.
I forgot about that.
Plus, you can't forget that's a morale player right there. Finally get a backup morale player.
And then Atsumori, not necessarily like inspiring pitching, but honestly, you don't need Zeph 7 pitchers, maybe like 5 max. So Atsumori has a really good bat. He's going to be a really great backup DH and PH. So, yeah.
Yeah. Rally, slugger, good stats on there too. Yeah.
And for the Smooth Jazz, they get, once again, more of a pretty good reliever. Pretty decent reliever, I guess, in Bishiki.
Yeah, Bishiki.
And then Amane, low-key, I low-key miss her. She's really, like, an absolutely amazing backup outfielder. But I had to give her up.
Oh yeah, has the builder ability too, so you can get on base in some sneaky ways. Bashiki too, like I really like Gripper as an ability, just because it shows the ball very late, you know, out of the hand. So it looks like it's going faster than it actually is. So I mean, Jazz got a good pitcher right here to go with the staff. Also that special curveball too. Dang. All right.
Yep. That pitch was easy getting against me. It was confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing to look at. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, I think the Smooth Jazz got back pretty good value for what they're giving up. They're getting back a pretty decent reliever, of course, as we talked about. The only thing is, Angel Amane, we talked about, she's pretty good, but we all know the Smooth Jazz's outfield. He has a pretty stacked outfield. Where does Angel Amane fit into that scheme? Does he have
another question?
Does he have
maybe
another trade lined up or something?
Maybe you should make some trades to, like, you know, like people who are struggling outfields. You know.
Oh man, holding all the outfield.
I know one whose initials PB. You know. They can probably use an outfield.
We'll see. Speaking of trades, let's talk a little bit about which characters on the teams do you think are the most likely to get traded, because the trade deadline is coming up pretty quick. It is coming up this Saturday, the 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So, something to consider. Who do you think might get moved by the deadline?
People on my team.
Well, already? My goodness, man. Dude, you already cooked up so much, man, already.
Man, I don't make trades, but a certain pitcher today kinda might not be there anymore. if I can think straight.
I think Kokovi is gonna be looking to trade. I'm not too sure what players are gonna get traded, but I think that as the trade deadline starts heating up, I think that people are gonna start looking around for deals, especially for pitching and for outfield. I think that those are gonna be two positions that people are gonna start getting desperate to trade for. People who aren't feeling confident in their bullpens or their starting rotations are gonna start trying to go out there and offer up big hauls for players that they think can help them out on the pitching side and vice versa. I'm excited. I hope that it heats up. If it doesn't, then it's going to be pretty disappointing.
Oh man.
If I can't heat it up, then nobody can.
The stove is moderate right now. Not hot, but just mild.
Yeah.
How much am I heating up the stove by myself?
Oh, by yourself, you're already burning everything. Yeah, dude.
These
I'll be
players,
honest.
guys, oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. So we keep interrupting each other. I am so sorry.
So for the players that I think drafted really well, Kang, I think Greg the Egg drafted really well. Honestly, I think Brando Scotty, that shadow, surprisingly. John, of course. I think they're fine. They're pretty fine. Yeah. I think MC Scale still. He only has Lancelot. I think Suzumoto, maybe Taramoto. I think he could use a starting pitching rotation there, definitely. And let's see here. Right now, I'm just kind of like giving my opinions on like rotations. Let's see, X Long, obviously. Matt, Possessed, Ikari, Kurama. I guess he's alright. Pretty good overall. For Fleet Admiral Shelley, I tried trading with him, but he was stuck in the same position as me, actually. We should talk about this because he's stuck wanting to trade Tanakayama out, and yeah, I've been in the same situation. Really, really tough.
Oh man.
Nakayama.
Shortstop and also starting pitcher, man.
You have to get somebody that has a really good pitcher that's also a position player. I feel like I would be willing, as somebody that has Oda, I would be willing to have Tanakayama on my team. Not at this point. I feel like my shortstop position is already pretty full, but
your team's full, man.
I mean, I feel like those type of people who have the Odas, the Fumito Diedas, they can allow people like Tanakayama on their team to just play shortstop without having to worry about, oh, if this person gets too much rest or if this person has a bad move, what if Tanakayama has to go up? You don't got to worry about that whenever you got a position player who pitches, which we talked about at the very beginning when we were drafting, how important having a position player that pitches, in my opinion, is for getting pretty good players like that for cheap. But, I mean, they just don't come around often, so Tanakayama becomes extremely hard to trade based on his ability. I mean, he's a very good shortstop.
But not a good pitcher.
Yeah.
I think only 2 pitches.
I think Matt and Fleet Admiral Shelley could be pretty good trading partners, but I'm not sure about if they're willing to trade.
I don't know. Some people are just unwilling to trade, but I don't know if that's just because it's me and I've already made like 20 trades and they're like, I don't want to trade with this dude because he's already traded so much. But
to be fair, you were trying to make trades before the draft was over.
Oh my goodness.
If you played in a league with me, you know that I love my trades. It doesn't matter how much I love my roster. I'll still make trades. I'm addicted. That's the NBA fan in me. Everybody knows NBA fans love their trades. We just had one in KD.
Oh my god.
I'm addicted. Y'all are addicted to y'all's home runs. I'm addicted to my trades. Y'all can't judge me. Don't judge me.
I'm judging, bro.
When are you gonna have your Wizards trade?
Ooh.
Sorry.
I was gonna continue. It just feels like with trading with people, it feels like Settlers of Catan. Who has the resources? Who has a lot of ore? Who has the most bricks? You know, and it's like, dude, like the contact hitters. You know, you see a lot of them on the same team. Like we might. I feel like we might see some packages, maybe from Shelly. You know, if he's willing to give up some of his guys, you know, to some other teams. We don't know if any power bats are going to go through as well. We don't know what else is out there in the market. It just makes it really tough.
Yeah. I think right now power bats are the market inefficiency. Like more experienced players should take advantage of.
Oh no!
So before we leave this, if anybody wants a good old Shoji Hamasaki, just hit me up. He's a pitcher.
Oh man.
He is certainly a player that can stand on the mound.
He's
one of the pitchers of all time.
Yeah, he's.
All right, Sam. After this roundtable, I'll be hitting you up.
Really?
Come out.
No, I'm not. I don't want that.
Come out with Chapman Matsu.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he stays. Hombone stays. He stays.
Yeah. We'll see if there's any big like moves coming up. I mean, we'll see if anybody trades aces for bats. See if anybody trades for like, like the star players. You know, like maybe Toy. You know, see if we can get like a package from that too. Power bats, Rygo. You know, see anything.
I think that we might see players like Toy, players like Gundo traded, maybe people trying to get better pitching on those particular teams. Those are the two teams that I think of that have really good fielders but kind of lack in the pitching department. Yeah, I mean, it should be heating up soon.
Most definitely. And hopefully we can get all the games ended by the end of week 6 so that we don't have any stragglers going into week 7. Here's hoping.
Yay! Time to see who wins everything.
All right. Week 6 prediction time, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. We have the Smooth Jazz taking on the Purple Hurricanes. Smooth Jazz right now, they are at 5-10. And the Purple Hurricanes are currently at 10-5 after being swept by Greg.
Okay.
His name is scared.
All right. So we're taking a look at the rest. Jeff, he has Papillon out for 1 game. Magic Ball Hoshi out for 2 games. He's got Roddy Bright and Fuku ready for game 1. Onishi with no goggles. His pitching all around, there's not too much inspiring on it. Fuku and Papillon are both good relievers, but I'm sure Slime, as long as he's not off, I think that Slime won't have too rough of a time getting those hits. And of course we talk about Jeff's outfield, but against a player like Slime who only is hitting bombs, your outfield really don't matter that much. It's just, can they get back to that warning track whenever he doesn't hit that bomb? Now we've seen Slime get the contact hits going recently, so of course that outfield comes into play there, but everybody knows how much Slime loves hitting his bombs. But we go over to Slime's rest. Suzukaze is going to be out until game 3. Izitsu out until game 2. But he has Sakurazawa, Alex ready for game 1. It's going to be a tough series for Jeff. but Slime is coming off a bunch of negative momentum off of that Greg series. It's just, can he put it past him? I think that he's going to be able to, and he's going to bounce back real hard. I'm taking Sweep for the Hurricanes.
Well, wow, you didn't throw shade at me this time.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Nah.
You hit pretty good, man.
You need support at this time.
I feel like enough shade was thrown when we talked about your series.
Great. I'm throwing so much at y'all now.
All right.
All right.
I repay.
All right, John, what do you think?
Oh, YG?
Oh, sorry, Sweep. Just to get out of the way, sorry.
All right, sounds good.
Cy? All right.
Cy Young.
Yeah, Cy Young. Yeah, he was a good pitcher. So, I feel like Slime's gonna get his momentum back in this one. I feel like he might drop a game though against Jeff because of the contact hitting, and yeah, I think that's brief. I think that's pretty much it. I feel like he'll go back to power hitting. We're gonna see how many bombs. I'm thinking 6. So that's my prediction right there. 6 bombs, 2-1.
All right,
At
sounds
least.
good.
At least 4. At least.
At least.
I don't think he hits a single bomb.
Oh, there we go. There's a shade.
That's a shade.
Guys,
Oh.
now we're putting him on a mission. Let's go.
Yeah, now you got me. Now you got me intrigued.
All right. Yeah, so Slime, what's going to be the key here for you against the Smooth Jazz here?
We gotta put our big boy pants and belts on and just suck it up and just get ready for the next series. That's it. That's all we got. I can't. Like, I'm not gonna crash out because I'm not angry. I'm just upset at how the team played last series. I'm pretty sure I saw Keo crying, like nibbling, like he was not happy.
Oh man.
Well,
But-
hopefully you'll be able to turn it around.
Yeah, Tama was not happy at all.
All right.
I'm not joking. He was sad all 3 games.
Oh.
It's true. It's true.
You're playing a tough market. Better hope that media doesn't come in.
All right. We're going to go ahead and skip the DC Delegates and Bariqua Islanders series since they both have not played their Week 5 matchup yet, and it would be a little unfair to talk about their Week 6 matchup right now, but let's go ahead and move on to our next matchup. It's going to be the humongous Melonheads and the Sassy Squatches. Melonheads currently at 4-10-1. Squatches at 6-8-1. And fighting for one of those last playoff spots.
2-1 to Melonheads just because I still like the name of Humongous Melonhead.
All right,
That's
fair
good.
enough, fair enough.
There we go.
This
Oh,
is going to
man.
be a really fun matchup that's going to determine a lot about who can possibly get in the playoffs. I mean, Matt, he's really been playing a lot better, in my opinion, than he was last season. Of course, last season he was coming off a season break from EPL competition, and a lot of rust was there. I think that he's been slowly shaking it off through the past season and through this season. I think he's been slowly regaining form. But Brando Scotty, he's been looking very scary even with the recent sweep from YG. He was right there in the playoff hunt right until that point. If we're looking at rest, you have Graviton ready for game 1 for Brando Scotty. Miojin's ready for game 2. The big thing is that Go is going to be out for the entire series. If you come down to Matt, his rest, Possessed Satsumori is going to be ready for game 2. Shindo's going to be ready for game 3, but he's still got his Ikari, his Kurama ready for game 1. I think that I'm going to give this one 2-1 Sasky Squatches.
All right, 2-1 for the Squatches for Compass. Interesting. John, what do you think?
Well, no, I've been seeing Matt kind of, get better with his hitting too. he got like most of his hits in one inning though in the game 3. Certain, but man, he's always there. He's usually on the PCI. Squatches too. Finally finding the offense right there in game 3 for against YG. I really do think Brando's going to come out with this 2-1. I feel like the pitching situation is a lot better. Plus, I feel like Squatches will probably shut down the offense.
All right, YG.
Just looking at Rest, Go is out for 3 games, but he's pretty good in it otherwise. Myojin 1 game, Arai 0, Amagi 0. So the people he usually relies on are still there. And as for Matt, he has possessed Atsumori, which is going to be trouble. But I think Kurama, he's pretty good. Ikari, Shindo, those 3, Atsumori, Kurama, Ikari, those 4 basically are worse than, frankly, they're worse than Brando's rotation, I think. But I think Matt's a good enough player, actually a really good player. So I think 2-1 Brando.
Alrighty. All right, so we have Compass, John, and YG saying 2 out of 3 for the Squatches. Slime saying 2 out of 3 for the Melonheads. All right, so we're going to move on now to our next matchup. We're going to skip the Chicago Curve Bay Area Rockets matchup since the Curve have not played their Week 5 series yet, so just in fairness to them. Now we're going to go on to the Wolverines taking on X-Long. X can Shelly take the momentum of their first win of the season and try to get at least one more win against X-Long, or will X-Long do something good, like maybe get a couple wins here?
I think X-Long, actually, looking at Shelly, has like a pretty decent rotation, but X-Long against Kiba, I think he's gonna win that game. Like, I will probably lose against Kiba, but yeah, for at least one game. But I'd probably take X-Long 2-1.
All right, Compass.
The thing is with X-Long's rest is Kiba's going to be ready for game 2, Hinoa's going to be ready for game 3. Sumera and Fukami and Sudo are all out until game 2. Leaves him with Fukami, Ino, and Alvin ready for game 1. Those are his only 3 pitchers, which not the worst, but not the best, especially when you look at his rotation. Those are 3 of the weaker arms in his rotation. That if there's any game he's gonna lose, it's gonna be that game. But if we look at Shelly's rotation, of course we've talked about how strong his rotation is. He's gonna be pitching Hokuto, the good Hokuto, game 1, Dark Hoshi game 2, Kagurazaka game 3. Very nice rotation, but X-Long has been getting them hits lately. I got X-Long sweeping.
Alrighty, X-Long in a sweep. All right, John.
For this one, the rest for game 1 for X-Long might, be a bit of a problem. But I feel Shelly will take out game 1 just because of that. And I feel like, he's going against, the kind of the weaker arms of X-Long, but I feel like X-Long will cruise in game 2 and game 3 with all the support from his better pitchers.
All right, so 2 of 3 for X-Long there. Slime.
Yeah, 2 of 3 for X-Long. Yeah, we talked about it. Game 1 might be the one he can't win. So 2 and 3 he'll take.
All righty. So 2 of 3 for X-Long for all 3 of our players here. Pretty interesting. Or 4 of our panelists. Nice. All right, next up we have the Rattlers taking on the Phantoms. Rattlers and MC Scales, they are at 7 and 8 right now. Both players actually at 7 and 8, the Phantoms and the Rattlers. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. 2 teams that are on the bubble for a playoff spot. This is going to be one of those marquee matchups of the week.
Yep.
Most definitely. I mean, These two have a lot to prove, honestly. Our MC, coming back to the playoffs, Dad's Shadow, just playing pretty well, for your first season and no lock on too. This is gonna be a tough one. Dad's Shadow, great pitching staff too. I mean, Choi Otani's gonna be out for the first game. But you got yourselves, a good closer in Octavia, and then Red is out there. DJB can be very deceptive too. Mitamura, it's slow pitches.
Slow.
Oh man. And then MC Scales, rest in his favor right now. Taramoto, Lancelot, Arimashu, people are ready to go right there. But I feel, it's gonna be tough.
I know.
Oh my goodness, who's gonna come out on top on this one? Because you have a good lineup, the Phantoms, and you also have good contact from MC Scales.
Yeah.
I think Phantoms might pull this one out. 2 out of 3. Yeah.
So Phantoms 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think the Phantoms lineup is just honestly just better, flat out better than MC Scales. Just on offense, I don't think the defense is going to cut it. So, 2 out of 3.
All right, 2 out of 3 for the Phantoms for YG. Compass.
The rest, it tells me that the Phantoms are gonna win, but it's a really tough matchup because they're both in similar positions. I think that if you were to ask most people in the server, they would probably say the Phantoms win just based off their staff, but I think that the Rattlers are going to take 2 out of 3 because of how much experience they've had in no lock on, how much experience they've had with their backs against the wall. This is not their first time in this situation, and this type of situation, this type of pressure on the Phantoms, I don't know how they're going to react. Where MC Scales, I have a lot more faith that he's going to have a lot better time and really show out this series to try to make the playoffs, because I know that he's going to take this series very seriously with the position that both these players are in.
All right, Slime.
Give me 2 out of 3 for that Shadow the Rookie.
All right. So 3 of our panelists say the Phantoms are going to take 2 of 3. Compass saying the Rattlers going to take 2 out of 3. Should be a fun matchup. I can't wait for that one. Seriously, that's going to be a good one.
Nice.
All right, Space City Comets and Kane Kings. We're going to skip over that one out of fairness to Compass. Haven't played their Week 5 matchup yet. So we go now to YG and the Ghost Town Revenants taking on B. Farrell and the Philadelphia Bandits. B. Farrell currently sitting at 6-9. The Revenants currently sitting at 9-6. Some pretty nice numbers in there for both of those records. We'll start with Slime on this one. What do you think about this matchup?
All right, let's look at the rest, shall we? Kind of got a tough pitching staff to work with, don't you, bud? It's not looking too pretty. Okay, and now B. Farrell. He has Horseshoe and East. Wow. Okay. Well, it's gonna be the battle of the bats, I think.
Ooh.
Dang. Pretty harsh to these players' pitching staffs.
So what's your prediction here?
YG, I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, this is actually tough because when you finally get to hitting, you can get hits. And B. Farrell, he's a dinger hitting guy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 2 out of 3 for the Bandits.
Oh.
2 out of 3 for the Bandits.
Oh.
That's my dinger
Okay.
hitting buddy right there, man.
Okay.
All right, Compass, what do you think?
All right, so looking at last week, we have the Ghost Town Revenants and YG coming off a huge series sweep against Sassy Squatches, a team that they were similar record against. And then you compare them to the Philadelphia Bandits, who are coming off a series win, but they let Shelly get their first win in a series that I would be sure that they would hope that is a sweep. Taking a look at rest, you got Ribukai out until Game 3, Yakumask out until Game 2, Shinogi out until Game 3. You got Isamura, Erikai, Abada, and Horse Run ready for Game 1. If you go over to YG's side, of course you got Alan ready for Game 2, Doe ready for Game 3. Game 1 is going to be the hard one, but with the momentum rolling in YG's favor, I got a sweep for YG.
Alrighty. John, what you got for this series?
Oh. How many home runs are going to be hit this series? I feel like it would be about 11. For both.
I'm taking the under.
Oh, man. Taking an under on 11? All right. For
How
this
much
one,
money are we putting on it? How much money can I put on this?
you can put $1.
Oh, I don't have $1. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right.
Okay.
For this series, oh man, it's gonna be a good series with the bats. I mean, some tough pitching. You have some pretty good pitchers up there. You know, Yakumask, and you also have Ribukai on, B Farrell's side, Doe and Allen. You know, for YG, this is gonna be a good one. I feel like they'll find a way to hit some home runs. You know, I feel like these might be moderate scoring games, but I do think YG is going to pull out of this alive, even without, giving a lot of home runs. Maybe the beef 2 out of 3.
Alrighty. Now, YG, you aren't able to pick the game because you're playing in it, but what do you think are going to be the keys to this matchup against B Farrell here?
They hit dingers. But seriously, I think I did say that Game 3 I was hitting way differently, and I think Thomas can attest to this. And I think I've found my power stroke back because I've been playing a bit mainline, and I think I beat some B ranks and I tied with an S rank, so that's pretty cool.
All right, hey, that's fair. That's fair. That's a pretty good strategy there. All right, our final matchup of the week, and this I think is going to be a tough one to pick here. You have the Subarctic Narwhals and Greg the Egg taking on North Shore Honu and Zumikaku. This is the marquee matchup of the week here, folks. We'll start this one with YG. What do you think about this matchup, and who you got?
Can I say that this is the other Bay Area series, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I think. Oh, is Zoomian? No, never mind. Never mind that. But I thought
North Shore and Subarctic, kinda.
Kinda. This is kind of a classic matchup. Zuby and Greg. I think they faced each other before, right?
It was EPL? The postseason, the championship series, a few years ago.
Actually, yeah, they did. This is a classic matchup.
This is awesome.
Awesome, great matchup. Two, I guess, classic EPL players battling out. Zumikaku's side, Foster's out until Game 3. Hagani's out until Game 1, but he has Simon and Suzaku on for Game 1. So that's something. That's something there. And let's see for the Narwhals. Greg the Egg. Malman is out until Game 2. Actually, this is interesting. Malman and Kariba are out until Game 2. So Game 2 is going to be really, really tough. 8-1, Eito One is going to be out until Game 3. So he has Naomi, Jingetsu, and Tamane for Game 1. I think I would definitely have Zumikaku Game 1, but it gets dicey after that. I would say that Greg has been impressing me really more lately with his pitching. So I think he'll take. Let's see. I think he'll take Game 2, Game 3 is where it gets dicey with A2 One.
It'll end up with a tie.
Yeah, if they end up with a tie, yeah. But ties are lame, so I'll take Zumi game 1, Greg game 2, and flip of a coin, blah blah. Game 3, Greg.
All right. And by the way, that classic matchup he's referencing is from the second season of the eBaseball Power League. The last season before it was affiliated with USA Baseball, and this was the EPL Summit Series Championship that season. It was the Honu taking down the Narwhals in a 3-game sweep back in 2023, I do believe. So late 2023.
That long.
It's been a while. It's been a while since the Honu have faced off with the Narwhals, but this is going to be one heck of a matchup coming up right here.
Exciting, man.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. I agree everything with what YG said. I think that Zumi definitely has that game 1 in the bag. But the thing is, of course, we said that Mileman and Kariba are both ready for that game 2. I would be very surprised if he uses both of them to where they have rest for game 3. I think that in game 3, we are going to see one of Kariba and Mileman. Of course, One is going to be out there a little bit, as we said, but I don't think there is going to be an One game this series. It's just that game 1 is just so tough with Junketsu and Tamain and Narumi and Akatsu. I mean, Akatsu better not touch the mound. If Akatsu touches the mound, it's gonna get real ugly. But yeah, I mean, Mileman and Kariba manning it down. It's gonna be really hard for the Honu. I mean, Zumi, really good competitor, of course, and he's got his own pitchers ready to throw back at him, but Greg, he's been on a tear recently. Of course, he comes off that sweep against the Purple Hurricanes and Slime, and the Honu are coming off getting swept by the Bay Area Rockets, so that also plays into it too. The North Shore Honu are coming off negative momentum off getting swept, and Subarctic Narwhals are coming off all the momentum in the world from sweeping one of the top opponents. So I think that's going to carry out through this series.
All right, so you're saying 2 out of 3 for the Narwhals then?
Yep.
All righty. Slime, what do you think about this one?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, this is a tough series.
Like, both strong competitors. Both got scary bullpens with, like they already said, Mama and Kariba being ready for game 2. I just see Mama, I keep thinking, is he going to start him or is he going to throw the Tyrant in just to really put him down?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing I was thinking. He could start Kariba game 2, and then if it gets really tough, he brings out Mileman for an inning, and for just an inning, and he's good for game 3. Plus, he could still potentially have one of Jigensu or Tambane and to relieve after Mileman, or before Mileman, really.
I didn't realize these two means rest. Oh boy. Okay, he got Simon.
Yep.
He got Simon, Suzaku, who can mess you up when you ain't really ready for him. Ichinose. Oh, never mind. Ichinose that point. Shoot. Give me 2 for the Honu. Yeah, give me 2 for the Honu.
All right, so 2. All right, 2 out of 3 to the Honu for Slime.
Oh,
all right, John.
All right. The deciding one right here, man. The deciding vote. I can see either one coming up on top. On paper, I'm seeing Gray get his revenge. But I'm seeing Zumi getting back that momentum again and having success off Kariba. He's just a good contact hitter. I feel like, those curveballs, he can just find a way to get them into the outfield. I really want to say 2-1 for Greg because that's what it looks like on paper. But I feel like what will happen is that Zumi will kind of shock us in that way. I'm gonna go Zumi. It hurts to say it. It hurts to say it. I can see Greg get his revenge, but I think Zumi might still have that ownage against him. Maybe 2-1 Honu.
All right, so 2-1 Honu for both Slime and John. YG and Compass saying 2 out of 3 for the Narwhals. This is gonna be a fun week, y'all. This is gonna be a fun week. We are officially more than halfway through the season. This is exciting times. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Trade deadline at the end of this week. Gonna be pretty cool to see how things transpire the rest of the way. Thank you guys so much for coming up again on the broadcast. YG, thanks again for joining us once again.
No problem.
All right. Any final thoughts on the week, fellas?
I like homers.
Home runs. Home runs.
I like turtles.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's all. I think that's all we got.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey.
Long week.
Hey, Dinger's good. Dinger's good.
Dinger good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to our Week 6 Roundtable of the USA eBaseball Power League. For Compass, YG, John, and Slime, I'm Robert Tomlinson, the commissioner of the USA eBaseball Power League, signing out. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.